Music heads, what's going on? It's your man Louie T here with another installment of Music Head University. Today we're talking about most underrated, and this next artist is a blue-eyed soul legend in the game. And so I'm going to make sure that everyone knows that this guy was a force to be reckoned with back in the day and even into present day. Music heads, class is in session. Turn me up. So the artist in question today that I felt like was underrated is Bobby Caldwell. And sadly, Bobby Caldwell passed away roughly 2 months ago. So I kind of feel like I dropped the ball because I didn't get him a cold one while he was here to be able to accept it. And so um, this one's a bit bittersweet for me because, Bobby has just met his maker. But um, he was a force in the R&B genre. And you know when you talk about blue-eyed soul, one of the first names you have to bring up is Bobby Caldwell for his contribution to the R&B game. And I'll tell you this about Bobby Caldwell. He was one of the reasons the cookout card was even created. He's a gold cookout card member. And he is one of those artists. I talk about this all the time with these timeless artists who create artistry that spans the test of time. And he's one of those guys because when you have an artist that is as heavily sampled as Bobby Caldwell is, songs covered, sampled, remade, it just speaks to how profound your music was then and is now. And so Bobby Caldwell for me is just one of those guys that just every time I hear his voice, it just hits different. And he came up in an era where it was frowned upon, or at least record executives felt like it was frowned upon to have a soulful R&B artist that was of a white background. And so you'll see it on the very first album cover that he has. And we saw this with other artists like Tina Marie, where the record label didn't really know how this artist was going to be perceived because of the color of their skin. And so they're pandering and catering to a primarily black audience. And so in order to make sure that they don't alienate them, or that this outstanding music doesn't fall on deaf ears because of the color of their skin, they would make sure that they didn't put a picture of them on the album cover. You wouldn't know what that person looked like. And you know it's just crazy that was a thing. But here's the thing that I felt like was probably a misnomer back then. I feel like it was definitely a misnomer because every time that they thought, oh, we don't know how this artist is going to be perceived, this is the thing about R&B music. Of all the genres, R&B music is the one that black people have taken ownership over. And we care for it like a infant, all right? And while we care for it as greatly as we do, we're also very open to all different colors, creeds, nationalities performing that type of music, that genre of music. As long as you do the R&B music justice, we will embrace you. We don't give a damn what you look like. And so it took record executives a little while to kind of figure that out. But they figured it out. And, I think Bobby Caldwell was one of those guys that ultimately, broke down some of those barriers, And so let's go to the Learning Center and look at Bobby Caldwell's most notable tracks and take a listen to some of the artistry that he left behind. So as you can see, the album cover for What You Won't Do for Love, and his debut album was titled Bobby Caldwell, and that's what it looks like, him sitting on a park bench. You can't tell what color he is, right? And they did that intentionally because they weren't sure how he was going to be received by a primarily black audience who, that label that he was signed to, TK Records, all they really put out was R&B music. So, and all they pretty much dealt with were black artists. So he was, sort of a bit of ahead of his time, if you will. And they weren't sure. And it's just crazy because 2 years later, that's the cover for his next album, Cat in the Hat. People knew who he was. He was on tour. A lot of people were surprised to find out he was white when he came on tour. But no one cares, right? Is the music good or not? That's what we care about. And so you see the notable tracks here from Bobby Caldwell. What You Won't Do for Love is an absolute classic. It's one of my favorite songs. It's how I discovered Bobby Caldwell. This is from his 1978 debut album, self-titled Bobby Caldwell. Another awesome song, My Flame, is also on that debut album from 78. And you'll notice all of these songs somewhere along the lines have been sampled by artists and have had some smash hits with these, or at least very, very recognizable songs. Of course, What You Won't Do for Love, we've heard that a million times over, sampled. My Flame, remember Biggie and 112 sampled that song. Open Your Eyes, Jay Dilla sampled that for a Common song called The Light. So, I mean, you'll kind of get a feel for it. Once you hear it, you go, oh, okay, I remember that song. So Coming Down from Love is another nice song that he had on the Cat in the Hat album. And the album is called Cat in the Hat because, as you can see, he usually has on a hat. He's a guy that loves to wear a hat, and he's a cool cat with the hat to match. And so let's get to Bobby Caldwell and his music. We start with his most notable track, the one that garnered him the most attention, his highest charting single in his career, and coming off of the highest charting album of his career, Bobby Caldwell, What You Won't Do for Love. Take a listen to the blue-eyed soul legend known as Bobby Caldwell.
Guess you wonder where I've been. I searched to find the love within. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. My friends wonder what is wrong with me. Well, I'm in a daze from your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. Some people go around the world for love, but they may never find what they dream of. What you won't do to do for love. You tried everything, but you don't give up. In my world, only you make me do for love what I would not do. My friends wonder what is wrong with me. Well, I'm in the daze from your love, you see. I came back to let you know. Got a thing for you, and I can't let go. Oh, I only want the best, it's true. I can't believe the things I do for you. What you won't do for love. You've tried everything, but you won't give up. In my world, only you make me do for love what I would not do. Make me do for love what I would not do. Make me do for love what I would not do. Make me do for love
The last 2 minutes of that song doesn't even have words, and you just gotta vibe out to that. You just gotta let that rock. You can't turn that off after Bob's done. You just gotta let that rock. What You Won't Do for Love, biggest hit by Bobby Caldwell. And so you've heard that sampled numerous times. I even played a track on this channel by one of my favorite artists, Mona Lisa, that sampled that song, and countless others. Okay, this next song you're gonna know immediately because it was sampled again, as I told you, by Biggie, and that made it very popular with a totally different generation of people. And so this next track, entitled "My Flame," another cool, calm, collected cut from my guy, Bobby Caldwell. Take a listen.
How long have you been away? Oh, how long? I can't find the words to say. Yeah, I've kept your picture on my shelf, only there to remind myself. Oh, I have always cared for you. Do you still love me? Oh, my flame. Some things will never change. I still hold your vision in my mind. Say you still love me. My love, will I ever make you see? Ooh, that somehow you are still a part of me. Oh yeah. Maybe we can compromise, 'cause our love just can't be disguised. Oh, I have always cared for you. Do you still love me? Oh, my flame.
hear Bobby getting nasty with that bass at the end, man. Come on, man. My Flame from Bobby Caldwell's debut album, 1978. So, this next track that you're going to hear, again, heavily sampled once again, made famous by Jay Dilla and Common. Open Your Eyes from the 1980 Cat in the Hat album. Take a listen to Bobby Caldwell.
I see you in a lonely place. How can you be so blind? You're still regretting the love you left behind. Oh, darling, I've seen you go through the changes, sitting alone each night. Are you expecting to find the love that's mine? Darling, open your eyes. Let me show you the light. Girl, you never find a love that's right. Darling, open your eyes. Let me show you the light. Girl, you think you're so wise, you're so wise. There are times when you'll need someone. I will be by your side. I take my chances before they pass me by. Oh, darling, there is a light that shines special for you and me. You need to look at the other side. You'll agree. Darling, open your eyes. Let me show you the light. You may never find a love that's right. Darling, open your eyes. Let me show you the light. You may never find a love that's right. Darling, open your eyes. Let me show you the light. You may never find a love that's right. Darling, open your eyes. Let me show you the light. Girl, you think you're so wise. You may never find a love that's right.
Yeah, Bobby floated on that one, man. He just floated over that track right there. That was Open Your Eyes from his sophomore project, Cat in the Hat. Bobby Caldwell, man, he's a legend in the game. May he rest in paradise. Gone way too soon. And one of the, pioneers of blue-eyed soul. So let's get to today's exit track. Before we do that, however, I want you to name an artist that you heard for the first time and didn't know they were white. All right. So I'm pretty sure that list may or may not be super long. For some of you, I think the older you are, the longer that list may be. So leave it down in the comment section. That's your homework. Name an artist that you heard for the first time and didn't know was white. So Today's exit track kind of flows. You know, I'm a big theme guy. It kind of just seamlessly transitions into this next track that I'm about to play you on the way out. This was a guy that was one of the pioneers of the quiet storm that we hear, you know, Smooth 105.3. The quiet storm. You know, 10 to 30 at night, you turn on your radio, you get some quiet storm action from a deep voiced DJ. Yeah. Well, this was one of the guys that kind of started that way back when. And so this is another smooth white dude, boy. He's bad. So I want you to take a listen, see if you know this artist. If not, I drop a few gems on your melon on the backside of this. Take a listen.
When I start to care, then I find there is no one there, but I think of you, and I know we are something new. We get high and high, crazy blue, like St. Elmo's fire, love so sharp and flat that it's hard to know just where you're at. But now I know I want you. I want you to be my woman. Now I know I want you. I want you to be my woman. Got the werewolf split when the moon's full. I howl at it, but it's mostly fake. I'm in love with the love we make. We get high and high, crazy blue, like St. Elmo's fire, love so sharp and flat that it's hard to know just where you're at. But now I know I want you. I want you to be my woman. Now I know I want you. I want you to be my woman. Sun's full grown and he blows, means xylophone. You and I stay tan in the sun down in Yucatan. We'll get high and high, crazy blue, like St. Elmo's fire, love so sharp and flat that it's hard to know just where you're at. Now I know I want you. I want you to be my woman. Now I know I want you. I want you to be my woman. When I start to care, then I find there is no one there, but I think of you, and I know we are something new.
So that was Michael Franks and St. Elmo's Fire. So that first album, that track came from called the Art of Tea. That's actually a really fire album. Some nice cuts on that. That's from 1976. Telling you, man. Music hit different back then because everything, for the most part, not every, like 93% of the material was original. You know what I mean? And all the instrumentation, and it just hit different back then. That's a nice little song right there, a little mellow cut from Michael Franks. So you've got your homework. Leave it down in the comment section. Name an artist that the first time you heard them, you didn't know they were white. Leave it down in the comment section. Shout out to the legend that we honored today. Super underrated in my estimation. Bobby Caldwell. May he rest in peace. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on this latest installment of Music Head University. Music Heads, class is always in session. Until next time, you guys have a good one. Take care.